What's the fastest way to get everyone on an airplane? Ahead of the holiday travel season, a physics professor says he has the key to speedy boarding that's backed by science. And more than 100 kids in San Bernardino County get a permanent home just in time for the holidays. We take you to the Hart warming ceremony. Hello, everyone. You're watching The Rundown. I'm Robin Winston. We'll have more on those stories coming up in a moment. But first, crews working on repairing the 10 freeway in downtown LA are moving faster than expected. Governor Gavin Newsom says crews cleared out debris from Saturday's fire 2 days ahead of schedule. The timeline to get the 10 reopened is 3 to 5 weeks. Mayor Karen Bass says she's optimistic about that timeline after seeing the progress. In the meantime, hundreds of thousands of people have to find another way to get around downtown LA.
I am hoping that Angelenos are paying attention and taking public transit. I can tell you that Metro ridership increased 10% over the last couple of days.
The price tag to repair the damage from Saturday's fire hasn't been released just yet. The Biden administration is sending $3 million to offset the initial cost of the repair work. We're getting a few breaks in the clouds. Meteorologist Belen de Leon is here and tracking the next round of rain arriving in Southern California.
Hi, Robin. Well, we got some beneficial rain on Wednesday. Here we go looking at the weather Thursday and beyond. Thursday will be a mostly dry day. We'll get back that sunshine. That next round of rain moves in late Friday into Saturday. And as far as those temperatures go, those are going to stay below normal all the way through Sunday. Now, here's a look at that chance for rain. It'll be small on Thursday and Friday at about a 20%. But if you have any plans on Saturday, you might want to reconsider those, maybe postpone them for Sunday. That's when the weather will be drying out. Now, as far as the temperatures go, those will stay cool. Look at the trend in Los Angeles. We'll have 70s to close out the week. Over the weekend, it'll be cool in the 60s. As we head into Thanksgiving week, the weather will be drying out and warming up with temperatures expected to be in the 70s and 80s.
Thousands of Starbucks workers are staging their largest protests yet in their demand for contract negotiations. This includes a dozen Starbucks stores in Southern California. The one-day walkout is being nicknamed the Red Cup Rebellion because it coincides with Thursday's holiday-themed reusable cup giveaway. Workers accuse the company of refusing to negotiate fairly at stores that voted to unionize. Starbucks executives maintain that the union is unwilling to negotiate and has declined to meet for contract talks. They say they hope the union's priorities will shift to include the shared success of our partners. For the first time in nearly 40 years outside of COVID, the best volleyball players in the world will be skipping their annual trip to Hermosa Beach. So the Association of Volleyball Professionals say the Hermosa Open will not happen this year because of scheduling conflicts with 2 other volleyball tournaments already on the calendar. So the Open, it dates back to 1984 and typically starts in the first week of July. But for 2024, the AVP requested the second week. The conflict apparently only exists for next year. The AVP says the Hermosa Open will return in 2025 and 2026. The Orange County Animal Care Shelter is asking for volunteers to foster dogs following the Tustin hangar fire. That facility is located right across the street from the hangar. And right now, the shelter has more than 300 dogs. They're especially in need of help fostering medium to large dogs. And since the fire started last week, animals have not been able to go outside. It's all a part of an effort to keep them away from any of the contaminants in the air. The shelter says it'll provide foster families with food and supplies, including a leash, collar, and dog tags. West Hollywood's iconic bar, the Abbey, and the chapel have been sold. The announcement was made on its Instagram page and is being called a landmark move. Despite the transfer of ownership, the Abbey says its longtime management team will stay in place. The new owner says he will work to make sure it's a smooth transition.
I'm excited to continue to make it a space for all in the community so other people can say the same thing years from now.
The schedule of events and parties will also continue as planned. The LA Department of Water and Power is warning customers about a new payment scam. So the company says scammers are posing as utility workers in an attempt to get their money. So here's what happens. The crooks call and ask customers to pay their bill using digital payment methods like Zelle, Venmo, or Cash App. But the LADWP does not accept payments through those methods. Officials with the agency say customers who believe they were scammed should contact police. The holiday travel season is here, and nothing can drive up stress quite like boarding an airplane. I've been there. Trust me, I know. United Airlines recently unveiled a new method in hopes of speeding up the process, but there may be a better way. NBC's Adam Tuss talked to a physics professor who says he's figured it out.
Oh, the pain of boarding the airplane. Sometimes it truly seems like it makes no sense.
And people not processing through airplanes quick enough, getting on and off.
Yep, that's the problem. And all that stuff we bring on board matters. The issue is quite simple. According to UNLV physics professor Jason Steffen, it's all about spacing.
What you really want to do is have passengers putting their luggage away that are spread all throughout the aisle. So instead of having 2 people putting their luggage away at once, you could have 10 people putting their luggage away all at once.
So let's take you on board to illustrate how you could space apart using Professor Steffen's method. From the back of the plane to the front, using the even rows on one side, board window seats, then middle seats, then aisle seats. After that's done, switch to the other side of the plane using the even rows, boarding window, middle, and aisle. Then repeat the process using the odd rows, window seat, middle seat, aisle seat on one side, and window seat, middle seat, aisle seat on the other side.
The main thing is to spread people out so that when I'm putting my luggage away, I have 1 extra row of space.
Steffen first published his method in 2008, then tested the results again in 2011. He says his method could shave minutes off the fastest boarding processes right now. But he also acknowledges it may not be the most practical way, with families wanting to board together. It's why he thinks even a free-for-all may be more efficient than the way most airlines board right now.
Another way to spread passengers out is to just get on the intercom and say, the airplane's open, everybody get on.
I would love to see it. Hey, the airplane's open, everybody get on board. Let's see how that goes, you know?
You'd have a big line at the beginning, and it would empty out a bit faster than, it would empty out faster than I think people would realize.
Last month, United Airlines reinstated a windows middle aisle boarding system, but the airline still lets first class and business class board first. Just remember, if you're flying over the coming weeks, bring along a dose of holiday spirit as well. Adam Tuss for NBC News, Washington.
And a little bit of patience too, right? Are you sweating the cost of Thanksgiving next week? Well, good news, it won't be as expensive as last year. That's according to a new survey from the American Farm Bureau Federation. The average price to feed 10 people with 12 classic items will run you $66. That's down 4.5% when you compare it to last year, which was $64. A 16-pound turkey averages $27, which is down 5% compared to last year. And farmers say the drop in prices is because of last year's bird flu, which led them to increase supply this year. If you watched a comedy in the last 2 decades, you've definitely seen him. Comedian Kevin Hart is set to be the newest recipient of the Kennedy Center's Mark Twain Prize for a Lifetime Achievement in American Humor. The 44-year-old started his career as a teenager performing during open mic nights back in Philadelphia. The Mark Twain Prize honors performers who've made an impact on humor and culture, and he is set to receive a bronze bust of Twain on March 24th. Congratulations, Kevin. And now to a really special story. More than 100 foster children in the Inland Empire started a new chapter in their young lives. They were all adopted into loving families. NBC4's Tony Shin has their story from Ontario.
That are adopting over 100 children.
It's a day of celebration for more than 100 children ages 9 months to 17 years old.
The Juvenile Court of the state of California and for the county of San Bernardino.
That's because they are officially being adopted at the 23rd annual Adoption Finalization event for San Bernardino County Children and Family Services.
Honestly, I couldn't sleep last night because I was so excited.
Juliet Wade and her husband Philip are foster parents who are adopting this adorable little boy. They say the birth mother had to give him up, and when they found out his name, they knew it was meant to be because about a year ago, Philip lost his brother, Robert.
Birth mom called and said, oh, his name is going to be Robert. And that was his brother that died Robert Wade, and his name is Robert Wade.
The next morning, I woke up and my wife told me the events that she just told you about his name being Robert. And once I knew that, that was my way of knowing that God just said, it's okay. Don't worry about him. I got him.
There are so many powerful stories like that here at the Ontario Convention Center. All of these adoptive parents and children have gone through a lot of legal hurdles to get to this point. And it's been a long and difficult process.
Which is why the people who work for the court system, as well as child services, call this event their big reward.
This is really what we do this work for, is to make sure that children end up in a safe home, with a family that cares about them, loves them, and will help them grow up.
Like 2-year-old artist.
My love bug.
He's being adopted by Jennifer Henderson, a single mom who's an empty nester.
He was a baby, abandoned, neglected, left. So I wanted to be the opposite of all of that. I wanted to show up. I wanted to be there for him. I wanted to love him through whatever it is he's been through.
Let's go ahead and go on the record on our adoption. How y'all doing?
And with a final signature, the children are officially adopted into their new families.
I love it so much.
Robert will share a home with older sister Michaela and also his 2 other future sisters who are in the process of being adopted.
What it means to be adopted to me is that somebody wanted me and somebody loves me and that I'm going to be part of this family.
It means the world to me.
Congratulations, you are a parent child.
In Ontario, Tony Shin, NBC4 News.
It's so nice to see all the families come together and just in time for the holidays. You can always get news and weather updates on the NBCLA app and our website, NBCLA.com. And be sure to tune into Today in LA on NBC4, weekdays 4 to 7 a.m. I'll be helping you get around with traffic reports throughout the morning. I'll see you next time on The Rundown.